Ngayong Biyernes sa DOST Report, alamin ang iba't ibang Information and Communications Technology o ICT programs ng DOST Regional Offices na may malaki na itutulong sa patuloy na pag-unlad ng bawat rehiyon sa bansa. Makasama natin sina Ms. Emelita P. Bagsit, ang Regional Director ng DOST Calabar Zone. Ibabahagi niya ang ICT programs towards internal process improvement. Dr. Maria Josefina P. Abilay, ang Regional Director ng DOST Mimaropa para ibahagi ang Digitalization of Business Process Program. Si Mr. Martin A. Wee, Regional Director ng DOST Region 9 para ibahagi ang Alerto Project o ang Automated Water Level and Rain Monitoring using Near Real-Time Observation Project. At si Dr. Anthony C. Sales, Seso 3, ang Regional Director ng DOST Region 11 para ibahagi naman ang Project Agak o AMOMA o Giya Alang sa Kahamugaway o Care and Guide for Stability. Alamin yan at ang iba pang Science for the People projects ng Department of Science and Technology mula mismo kay DOST Secretary Fortunato Boy de la Peña. Pakatutukan lahat ng yan sa DOST Report tuwing Biyernes alas 4 ng hapon sa DOST TV Facebook page at YouTube channel. Mga napapanahong balita tungkol sa gama teknolohiya para sa bayan ang ihatid namin sa inyo ngayong Biyernes dito lang sa DOST Report. Magandang agham Pilipinas. Ako po si Onin Miranda, ang inyong kapatid sa Imbabawi. At kasama po natin ang kalihim ng kagawaran ng agham at teknolohiya, ang nag-iisang DOST Secretary Fortunato Boy de la Peña. Magandang araw po, Sec. Boy.
Salamat, Onin, at magandang araw sa lahat ng ating taga-subaybay.
At mamaya sa ating parayam kasama Secretary Boy, 4 na DOST Regional Officers naman ang magbabahagi ng kanilang mga Science for the People programs. Pero bago yan, pakinggan muna natin ang balitang hatid ni Secretary Boy.
Salamat, Onin. Katulad ng dati, mag-uumpisa tayo sa mga balita tungkol sa kalusugan. The first one is an update coming from our implementers of the study on the vaccine mix match. So this is actually ready to start once the FDA approval is given. This study is a multi-site, convenient sampling, unblinded trial which will determine the safety and immunogenicity of completing the vaccine series with available COVID-19 vaccines in the Philippines to those who were given Sinovac as the first dose. The project is led by Dr. Michelle De Vera from the Philippine Society for Allergy, Asthma, and Immunology. The study is expected to enroll 3,000 participants aged 18 years old and above in 8 sites in the National Capital Region, Cebu, and Davao. The study will have 3 groups with a total of 12 study arms. Group A will study the same vaccines under the same platform. Group B will study the vaccines to be interchanged. And Group C will study the special high-risk group to be given a booster dose. To date, 400 Sinovac doses have been delivered to the Marikina site. A dry run is scheduled this week. The second item about kalusugan is a report of our DOST National Capital Region. They have lined up the hospitals and clinics in Metro Manila that will receive the RX box. This is part of our program on RX box, a project actually of the University of the Philippines Manila and DOST Calabar Zone. To date, 28 units of DOST-funded RX box telehealth devices were already turned over to the Dr. Jose Pabella Memorial Hospital in Manila City. There is 1 unit that was provided to the Marulas Lying-in Clinic in Valenzuela, and also lined up for deployment are those for Las Piñas City Lying-in Clinic, Tansa Lying-in Clinic, Tumana Lying-in Clinic, Katmon Super Health Center, Putatan Health Center, Central Bikutan Lying-in Clinic, and Smoky Mountain Lying-in Clinic. A two-day training with the beneficiaries will be conducted on the use of the RX-Box technology. The other report is that our DOST Cordillera Administrative Region, or DOST CAR, actually helped make possible the development of the e-Nutriban sweet potato variant. Okay, we have launched this a week ago, and we just want to emphasize that the development of the variant using utilizing sweet potatoes was actually supported by DOST in the Cordillera. Sweet potato is a resilient crop that could survive typhoons and is available all year round. Its use will provide additional products to existing e-Nutriban adapters, as well as offer an alternative market to sweet potato farmers. The sweet potato e-Nutriban variant, which was launched virtually last October 15, is actually the third variant that was developed by DOST FNRI after the squash and carrot variants. Similar to the other two variants, sweet potato is an excellent source of natural fiber, energy, protein, iron, calcium, potassium, and zinc. It has zero trans fatty acids and has no cholesterol. One serving of sweet potato variant Inutriban contains 507 calories, 17 grams of protein, 6 milligrams of iron, and 612 micrograms of vitamin A. The development of the sweet potato variant was funded by the DOST Cordillera Local Grants in Aid program. Meanwhile, our DOST FNRI is already working on the UBI variant of the e-Nutriban. We now shift to Kabuhayan. And the first one is a report from Region 8 and Region 4B. So the Baybay Leyte Association and the Ojongan Romblon LGU are set to operate a complementary food production facility. And to facilitate this, the DOST Provincial Science and Technology Center in Leyte and the DOST Provincial Science and Technology Center in Romblon have started discussions with the local government units of Baybay Leyte and Ojongan Romblon. This is for the operation of the complementary food production facility. The organization that will be involved in Leyte is the Masagana RIC. And the one for Ojongan is the local government of the municipality of Ojongan. And the meetings have already been conducted between FNRI and those organizations and LGUs so that we can already proceed with the operation of the complementary food production facility in those two areas. Now, the other report actually is a report from Region 2, DOST Region 2, wherein they, together with the National Irrigation Administration in Isabela, assisted the Dinapigeña women fisher folk on fish processing technologies. Region 2, DOST 2, in partnership with NIA Isabela, empowered the Dinapigeña women fisher folks by providing assistance in the conduct of technology training on fish processing, and this was done last October 7, 2021. Dinapigue is situated in the southeasternmost part of Isabela, enclosed by the Sierra Madre mountain ranges and the Pacific Ocean. Being surrounded by nature, the main economic activities of the municipality are agriculture and fishery. The National Irrigation Administration in Isabela tapped the expertise of the DOST in providing science and technology support in the conduct of fish processing. There were 28 members of the Dinapigeña women fisher folks who received technology training on fish processing. And this was done in Barangay Digumaset. The members were given the opportunity to participate in lectures and in the processing of fish to allow them to maximize their income potential and further develop the local industry of the municipality. The activity included the processing of canned mackerel in corn oil, canned tulingan in corn oil, and canned tulingan in tomato sauce. Food safety was also introduced to the participants to ensure safe and clean food production. Meanwhile, at the DOST Central Luzon or DOST Region 3, the Small Enterprise Technology Upgrading Program there is enabling an OFW content creator to set up business. And this is under the Forward PH project or the innovations from Filipinos working distantly from the Philippines. So the setup program of DOST is now assisting its first non-manufacturing MSME beneficiary in Central Luzon. He is a repatriated OFW. Mr. Sangalang or Billy Sangalang is among the 21 overseas Filipino workers in the region who recently completed phase 1 of the preparation being made under the iForward PH program. He is also the first among the said group to receive funding on his project proposal, which was based on a business model canvas developed in phase 1. Over in Northern Mindanao, the OST 10 reports of multiplying the yield and increasing the processing recovery rate for kasaba produced by 136 Magsaysay farmers in Misamis Oriental. Some 136 farmers from various barangays in Magsaysay, Misamis Oriental have benefited from the mobile kasaba chipper and the mobile kasaba granulator provided by DOST-10 under the Community Empowerment Through Science and Technology or CES program. With the intervention, farmer members of the Mindulao Farmers Agrarian Reform Community Cooperative as well as non-members from other barangays have increased their volume harvest by about 500 wet metric tons, and the recovery rate was increased from 40% to 60%. These successes led to about 5 times increase in farmers' gross sales from 2019 to the present, as they can secure bigger purchase orders from bigger companies. After CES, there was an evident shortened production process and better quality products with lower accident costs, equal and even sizes, and minimal labor. The Mindulao Farmers Agrarian Reform Community Cooperative has rippled the kindness they have received to the women, particularly the indigenous people's housewives in the area. The cooperative trained them for livelihood and linked them to attend seminars and training. In 2020, the women were able to earn about 3 million from their own livelihood initiatives under the guidance of the cooperative. The Mindulao Cooperative continues to grow and trickle their successes by assisting other communities. Over at Region 7, they have reported the sealing of an agreement with the GAM Engineering Company in Cebu for upgraded boat building technology using fiberglass reinforced plastic. GAM Engineering is a young, fast-growing shipbuilding firm in North Cebu and is now a proud DOST-7 partner under the Setup program or the Small Enterprise Technology Upgrading program. This is to enable the company to acquire boat building technology support, which can optimize its fiberglass reinforced plastic boat hull casting capability. As the growth in the shipping industry and inter-island marine transport business gives rise to a market demand for production of more efficient and modernized vessels, delivery of such standard quality products has become a challenge to a budding shipbuilder. GAM Engineering receives a high volume of orders from its customers, yet the manual hand lamination process it is currently using in the fabrication phase in ship construction would compromise the company's product quality, efficiency, and total production output. Operating in a 4,000 square meter enclosed boat building facility location In Luyang, Carmen, Cebu, the company boasts a state-of-the-art equipment such as in-house fiberglass reinforced plastic casting facility and CNC steel cutting machine. GAM Engineering offers various designs of custom-made boats result is to suit the specific demands of customers. It is accredited by the Maritime Industry Authority or Marina as a Class A boat builder, the highest classification granted to local boat builders. Now we move on to Kaayusan. A study determining the province's health risks to climate and disasters in the Philippines is now ongoing, and it is entitled Determining Provincial Health Risks to Climate and Disasters in the Philippines. The project commenced actually last July 15, 2021. This research aims to develop and visualize climate and disaster health risks of select Philippine provinces using a spatiotemporal approach in which data will be analyzed for trends over time as well as spatial or geographical patterns in the areas for each health exposure vulnerability variable via a three-phase health vulnerability assessment on climate-related diseases. Specifically, the study will pinpoint diseases related to temperature, rainfall, and extreme weather events, establish relationships between climate indicators, extreme weather, and selected diseases, and visualize specific weather indicators associated with average size, rates, and provincial population status. The results of this project can be utilized for improving disease surveillance, prioritizing more vulnerable provinces in the National Climate Change Action Plan, or NCCAP, and developing co-benefits interventions for climate change and health. To date, the rapid review of literature pertaining to climate impacts on the disease in the vital few has been completed. Consultations with experts in infectious diseases, cardiology, neurology, and pediatrics will also done for additional insight on the mechanics behind the climate change drivers. The recommendations on possible data sources for the morbidity data. The next one is a report from the National Research Council of the Philippines. They are funding a 2-year program on water security in the Cordilleras to ensure safe, secure water supply and climate resiliency for the mountain indigenous communities in the Cordillera region. The National Research Council of the Philippines, or NRCP, funds a 2-year program under its National Integrated Basic Research Agenda. Water security is one of them, and the project is entitled Ensuring Water Security and Climate Resilience for Mountain Indigenous Communities of the Cordillera through technology-enhanced decision support tools. This program intends to address water woes, water scarcity during dry season, and low water quality during rainy season, thus being about sufficient, clean, and safe domestic water supply in the mountain communities. The program will provide LGUs and key stakeholders the necessary data and information for decisions and pronouncements remaining and relating to water resources development for water supply that are more resilient to climate change and climate variability. Likewise, a technology-enhanced information and decision support system for the conservation of the rivers and watersheds of the Cordilleras will be made possible. DOST ITDI develops air biofilters for the control of poultry houses. As October 11, 2021, DOST ITDI, through its Environment and Biotechnology Division, installed the developed air biofilters in one of Rosy Chicks poultry houses in Barangay Malainen, Luma, Naik, Cavite. This technical assistance to Rosy Chicks Farm, which is a Filipino-owned poultry business, is DOST ITDI's way to support Rosy Chicks compliance with DNR RA 8749, otherwise known as the Clean Air Act of 1999. Meanwhile, the DOST Advanced Science and Technology Institute, or ASTI, has signed a Memorandum of Agreement with the Laguna Lake Development Authority, or LLDA. This is to formally kick off the agency's collaboration on the implementation of the artificial intelligence for land and water applications in Laguna de Bay region, what they call AI for LAWA. With the AI for LAWA, both agencies will work together to further strengthen the watershed management and Laguna de Bay monitoring using Earth observation data and other S&T infrastructures of the DOST Advanced Science and Technology Institute. Through the technology developed by DATOS, the project aims to develop a monitoring system that uses temporal satellite images to map aquaculture structures in Laguna Lake and detect changes through time. Through analysis of temporal land cover, decision makers can formulate science-based programs to help protect these watersheds and consequently help manage the preservation and maintenance of the bay. DOST6 has reported their milestone accomplishments for SPAS. The DOST Region 6 recently held the SPAS Travel Management System Milestone Reporting, highlighting the status to date of the SPAS rollout. The SPAS application has recorded more than 3.8 million active users all over the country as of October 19, 2021. 96 out of 121 or 79% of the local government units are now using SPAS. DOST Region 6 recorded more than 2.5 million travel passes through permits generated and from 3.1 million travel certification permits processed. There are more than 2 million TCPs approved. This only meant that more Filipinos are engaged and utilizing this technology. SPAS, during the ongoing crisis, provides the much needed assistance to the public in verifying with the authorities of other concerned entities the latest travel policies following health and safety measures being implemented in both origin and destination LGUs. We now shift to kinabukasan. The National Research Council of the Philippines launched their first book on history of the NRCP. The book was launched last October 14 and entitled A History of the National Research Council of the Philippines, Research in the Life of the Nation. This book presents the core essence of the link between NRCP with the development of science, technology, and knowledge production and institutional research for nation building. This first ever NRCP history book is authored and edited by Dr. Francis A. Gealogo, a prominent NRCP member of the Social Sciences Division and a professor at the Ateneo de Manila University. Okay? Gealogo is an expert of history and Philippine studies and has published various books which include Gregorio de Jesus, Talambuhay, Witak, Saysayan at Himagsikan, Reflections of a Filipino Social Historian, among others. There were other contributors to the writing of the book. Next is a report from DOST ITDI that they got a certificate of laboratory excellence for the proficiency testing on chlorides and nitrates in water. So the DOST ITDI, through their Inorganic Chemistry Section, Standards and Testing Division, received a certificate of laboratory excellence for achieving 100% very satisfactory results for the 2021 International Proficiency Testing for Chlorides and Nitrates in Water that was organized by the Korea Laboratory Accreditation Scheme, or COLAS. COLAS is South Korea's accreditation body with the mandate to recognize the technical competence of testing and calibration laboratories for those who meet the requirements of international standards of ISO IEC 17025-2017 series. We now go to DOST Region 5, reporting that they have brought science to the people through the pre-National Science Technology Week activities that they held. DOST Region 5 successfully cascaded science, technology, and innovation to the Bicolanos with the conduct of the 2021 Pre-National Science and Technology Week or Pre-NSTW celebration, back-to-back with the Bicol Regional Invention Contest and Exhibits or BRICE. This was held last October 12 to 14, 2021 through the cybernetic platform and social media. It is the second time that the OSC Region 5 virtually held the regional NSTW. Carrying the theme of the upcoming 2021 NSTW, which is Agham at Teknolohiya, tugon sa hamon ng panahon, the pre-NSTW in Bicol highlighted STI's key role in alleviating the country's pressing concerns and providing up-to-date SNT-based and innovative solutions to the challenges of times. Next is a report that the DOST participated in the third Philippines-Hungary Joint Commission for Economic Cooperation. This was held last October 18, 2021, and the DOST was represented by Assistant Secretary Dr. Leia Buendia, who is our Assistant Secretary for International Science Technology Cooperation, who participated virtually in the third Philippines-Hungary Joint Commission for Economic Cooperation. The third session was held on October 18 to 19 in Budapest in accordance with Article 4 of the agreement between the Government of the Republic of the Philippines and the Government of Hungary on economic cooperation. The Philippine delegation was physically headed by DTI Undersecretary for Industry Development and Trade Policy, Dr. Seferino Rodolfo. Meanwhile, the Hungarian side was led by Deputy State Secretary for Export Development of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade of Hungary, His Excellency István Gyur. The agenda item for science, technology, and innovation paved the way to discuss the emerging partnership between DOST and its Hungarian counterpart, the Ministry of Innovation and Technology. Under the STI cooperation, both parties will promote and implement joint undertakings in the field of one, agriculture, second, sustainable agriculture, third, space science and technology applications, and fourth, spectrum monitoring, and fifth, Earth observation, and the sixth, quantum information or computing, through joint research and development exchange of information on research and development and innovation policies and strategies. The Philippines participated in the 80th meeting of the ASEAN Committee on Science, Technology, and Innovation. The 80th meeting of the committee was held virtually on October 12 and 13, 2021. It was chaired by Thailand and hosted by Malaysia. The Philippines was represented by Undersecretary Rowena Cristina Guevara and Assistant Secretary Leia J. Buendia. At its 80th meeting, the Committee on Science, Technology, and Innovation deliberated on its preparations in terms of leading the sectoral body for innovation under the purview of the ASEAN Innovation Roadmap for 2016 to 2025, as well as leading education in science and technology as part of the work plan on Industry 4.0. The meeting reported the successful implementation of several priority projects, including the ASEAN COVID Genomics Project, the ASEAN-wide anti-COVID-19 Surveillance Study, the Summer School for High-Performance Computing, and the EU-ASEAN Dialogue on Green Technology and Innovation Mapping, among other things. Moving forward, the Committee on Science, Technology, and Innovation will focus on COVID-19 projects, Technology Management Hub, High-Performance Computing, and the ASEAN Network on Bio, Circular, and Green Economy. And lastly, we would like to report that the Philippines co-hosted the webinar on climate change adaptation and disaster resiliency together with the United Kingdom on October 19, 2021. Okay. Here, the DOST and the Natural Environment Research Council, which is part of the UK Research and Innovation Council, co-hosted the Building Science-Based Climate Change Adaptive and Disaster Resilient Nation webinar. This is one of the preliminary activities of the UK's presidency of the 26th United Nations Climate Change Conference of the Parties, or COP26. The webinar discussed the impacts of climate change and disaster risk on the industry, health, agriculture, and related sectors, and presented research, science-based initiatives and collaborations between the Philippines and the United Kingdom that are intended to address these challenges. DOST Undersecretary Renato Silidum and the UK's Department of Business, Energy and Industrial Strategy Chief Scientific Advisor, Professor Paul Monks, delivered the respective country statements. Speaking also for the Philippines, where DOST Council Directors or Council Executive Directors, Dr. Reynaldo Ebora of PICAR, Dr. Jaime Montoya of PCHRD, and Dr. Enrico Paringit of PSHERD. And for the United Kingdom, Professor Julie Gray of the University of Sheffield, Professor Ilan Kelman of the University College London, and Dr. Richard Williams from the University of Glasgow. Emphasizing the relative importance of the webinar topic to both countries, the event was also graced by other high-level officials led by British Ambassador to the Philippines, Her Excellency Laure Diopils. I was also present in that event. So this puts to an end our report for this week. Maraming salamat sa lahat ng ating taga-subaybay.
Maraming salamat po, Sec. Boy. Natunghin po ninyong kabuuan ng DOST updates para sa nagdaang linggo. Sa amin pong pagbabalik, makasama po natin muli ang ilan sa mga regional directors ng DOST upang ibahagi nila sa atin ang ilan sa kanilang Science for the People programs. Yan po ang panayam kasama Sec. Boy sa pagbabalik ng DOST Report. Kayo po'y nakatutok sa DOST Report. Sa mga nakaraang linggo ay ibinahagi sa atin ng ilang DOST Regional Directors ang iba't ibang programa sa bawat rehiyon. Gaya po ng set-up para sa mga negosyo, SES para sa pagpapalakas ng mga komunidad, Regional Inclusive Innovation Center, IFWD Philippines, iStart, at marami pang iba. Ngayong araw, mga programa na may kaugnayan sa Information and Communications Technology o ICT initiatives sa bawat rehiyon naman ang ating pong aalamin.
Tama ka, Oni. Titingnan natin kung ano ang pagkakaiba-iba ng ating mga rehiyon. Kasi ang mga programa nila siyempre ay may konti din pagkakaiba-iba. Depende kung ano pangangailangan ng kanilang lugar.
At upang ibahagi sa atin ang kanilang ICT-related program, makasama po natin sina Ms. Emelita P. Bagsit, Regional Director, Region 4A, Dr. Maria Josefina P. Abila, Regional Director, Region 4B, Mr. Martin A. Wee, Regional Director, Region 9, Dr. Anthony C. Sales, CESO 3, Regional Director, Region 11. Ito ang DOST in the region, advancing ICT initiatives towards competitive and smart communities.
Magsimula tayo sa DOST Region 4A o ang DOST Calabarzon. Magandang araw sa iyo, Director Emmy Bagsit.
Magandang araw po. Magandang araw po sa ating Secretary, kay Sec. Boy de la Peña, sa aking pong mga kapwa-director, kay Ma'am Josefina Abilay, kay Sir Regional Director Martin Wee, at kay Regional Director Anthony Sales. At ganun din po sa inyo, Sir Onin, at sa lahat ng sumusubaybay po sa atin ngayong hapon.
Una po sa lahat, Director Emmy, ibida po ninyo sa amin ng Region 4A. Ano po ba ang profile ng Calabarzon?
So ang Calabarzon region po, sir, ay may dalawang bahagi or may dalawang mukha. Ang una po dito is meron po kaming mga agricultural areas and also industrial areas na sa tingin po namin ay napakahalagang feature or napakahalagang katangian po ng aming rehiyon. Ang Calabarzon din po ay bahagi o dahil po ito ay located south of Metro Manila, kami po ay recipient ng mga economic activities ng Metro Manila. In fact, kami po ay tinaguri ang key industrial region ng Philippines or industrial powerhouse in the Philippines. At dahil po dito, kami po ay nag-host or dito po nakatayo ang maraming mga industrial parks. So, Calabarzon region po ay nagsusupply din or ito po ay may base ng semi-processed industrial raw materials and industrial components. In fact po, out of the 74 manufacturing special economic zone sa bansa, 35 po dito ang located sa Region 4A. Meron din po kaming 40 na information technology parks or information technology centers, 2 agro-industrial eco-zones, and 2 tourism economic zone, and 1 medical tourism park. Ang Calabarzon din po ay mayroong mga automotive assemblers, electronics, and semiconductors companies. In fact po, kami po ay tinaguri ang Silicon Valley of the Philippines. So ang Calabarzon din po ay nabiyayaan ng mga higher education institutions na kung saan sila po ang nagiging source o sila po yung ating supplier ng mga competent workforce na kailangan ng ating mga industries. Base po sa statistika, meron pong 102 state universities and colleges sa bansa. Base po yan sa information from the Commission on Higher Education. 6 po dito ang located sa Calabarzon. Meron po tayong 1,963 HEI sa buong bansa. So kasama po dito yung ating state universities and colleges. Ganon din po yung ating mga private schools. And as of 2019 record, 298 po dito ang located dito sa Calabarzon region. So ganyan po ka-rich yung source ng ating competent workforce dito sa region. Ipinagmamalaki din po namin na dito sa Calabarzon region ay may isa sa pinaka-aktibong science community, yun po ating Los Baños Science Community Foundation Incorporated. Ito po ay samahan ng mga organisasyon, private at saka po government agencies na meron pong malaking bahagi o na ginagampanan sa ating pong research, development, and innovation. So yun pong ating mga S&T experts ay napakayaman po dito sa ating rehiyon. Yan po yung mga advantages in terms of profile ng aming region. But there are also challenges that we have identified po kasi dahil nga po kami ay home of those multinational companies, siyempre po yung pangangailangan nito in terms of research, development, and innovations ay napakataas. So kami po sa DOST Calabarzon ay challenged in terms of providing or in addressing the needs, RDI needs of these companies, sir.
Director Bagsit, ano ang mga halimbawa ng mga achievement na nagawa ninyo sa DOST Calabarzon na inyong maipagmamalaki? At meron ba kayong mga recognition or awards na natanggap tungkol dito na bunga ng inyong pagsisikap?
Maraming salamat po sa katanungan yan. Ako po ay very proud na maging tagapagmana po ng isang matatag at mahusay na organisasyon na pinalago po at pinayabong ng isang napakagaling na leader sa katauhan po ng aming former regional director, si Dr. Alexander Madrigal. Kumbaga lahat na po ng mga accomplishments or most of the accomplishments ay naibigay niya na po sa organization. Sa katunayan po, ang aming pong organisasyon ay nakapagpatuloy na gawaran ng sertifikasyon under po sa ISO 9001. So previously 2008 and now naka-transition na po kami sa 2015 version ng ISO 9001. Yun din pong aming mga testing and calibration laboratories ay mayroon din pong ISO 17025. Isa rin po sa aming ipinagmamalaki ay yun pong makakuha kami ng Philippine Quality Award Level 1, which is yung recognition for commitment to quality management. Noon pong taong 2015 at ito po ay naigawad sa amin noong taong 2018. Dahil din po sa mga initiatives at innovations ng aming ahensya, nakatanggap din po ang aming organisasyon ng iba't ibang mga awards and recognitions. Nga po, kasama na po dito yung CESB Very Innovative Person Award ng aming pong director. Ganon din po yung Gawad CES Award, CSC Pag-asa Award, CSC Presidential Lingkod Bayan Award Regional Level, CSC Prime HRM Bronze Award, Kabalikat Regional Office Award mula po sa ating kapamilya sa DOST Report. Yun pong Gawad Kalasag Award ng Regional Disaster Risk Reduction Council ng Calabarzon. At yun pong Calabarzon Champion Award ng Regional Development Council naman po. Mula din po dito sa rehiyon ng Calabarzon. Kami rin po ay napagkatiwala ang mamuno or maging lead implementor ng mga DOST projects na mayroon pong scope na pang buong bansa or para po sa lahat-lahat ng mga regions or DOST-wide din pong scope. So isa po dito yung DOST shared funded, ang tawag po dito ay na project, ang tawag po ay Darius, or yung Development of Data Analytics Ready Information Unified System for Agile Delivery of SNT Services.
At syempre po dahil ang tema natin ngayong araw ay tungkol sa iba't ibang ICT programs, Director Emmy, sa area po ba nakita ninyo na may mga pangangailangan ng komprehensibong ICT program sa Region 4A? At ano po ang ICT program na ipinatutupad ninyo para makatulong sa area na ito?
Isa po sa 5 core competencies ng DOST Calabarzon, kagaya po ng nabanggit ko kanina, ay on information and communication technology solution. So napakadami po naming proyekto na may patungkol or may kinalaman sa ICT. Subalit meron po kami sa disaster, meron po kami sa food safety, meron din po kami sa health and nutrition, meron din po sa health. At yung nga pong aming gustong i-focus dito or bigyang ibahagi sa programang ito ay yun pong aming ICT on operations or office operations efficiency. So ito po ay mga sistema na may patungkol sa kung paano ba namin mas magagawang mas mabilis, mas epesyente, mas epektibo ang aming mga proseso sa organization. So tulad po ng nabanggit ko kanina, yun pong programang Darius or yung project na Darius ay isa sa mga malalaking proyekto na nakapag-establish ng isang unified project monitoring system ng DOST regional offices. So ito po ay tinaguri ang impression, yun po yung Darius 1, at ito po ay nagsisilbing repository ng lahat ng mga projects na ini-implement o ongoing, at saka po yung mga completed projects natin ng mga regional offices. So, dinodokumento po dito ang lahat ng importanteng impormasyon sa isang proyekto, gaya ng proposal, memorandum of agreement, project approval, line item budget, work plan, yung mga technology needs assessment natin, progress report, at iba't iba pang mga reports na may patungkol sa project. Ito rin po ay may mapa. So pinapakita po sa isang mapa kung saan-saan po ba nakalocate yung ating mga project. So madali po nating matitingnan kung yung saan ba specifically located din pong bawat project ng bawat rehiyon. So sa kasalukuyan, ang Darius Central ay naglalaman ng impormasyon sa mahigit na 9,500 projects na inimplement ng DOST regional offices mula po noong year 2002 or kung saan po, yun po yung taon na sinimulan po yung Small Enterprise Technology Upgrading Program ng DOST. So maaari nyo pong ma-access ang sistemang ito online gamit ang web browser sa https://darius.central.ph. dostcentral.ph. So sa kasalukuyan din pong ini-implement ang Darius 2. So yun po yung phase 2 ng Darius 1 na ikaliwang yugto ng proyekto na nakafocus naman po sa pagsasaayos ng service availment, project proposal management para po mas mainapit pa natin itong ating mga information about the projects dun po sa ating publiko. So pwede pong makita nung ating pong mga project partners yung kanilang project profile at lahat-lahat ng mga information dito po sa Darius 2. Ibigay ko lamang po yung ilan sa aming mga sistema katulad po ng trace or yung tracking, retrieval, and archiving communications for efficiency. Ito po ay isang application system na ginagamit sa pag-track ng mga dumarating at lumalabas na communications o requests sa aming agency. Isa pa pong sistema na aming ginagamit dito sa office ay yung tinatawag po naming HRMIS or Human Resource Management Information. Ito po ay ginagamit ng mga empleyado sa pag-file ng mga human resource related requests. Doon din po kami nagta-time in at time out. So another system po that we implement ay yung TRADE or yung tracking, retrieval, and archiving of documents for efficiency or trade. Ito po ay malahawig or spin-off ng ating pong trace. So kung saan naman po ay natatrack nito yung status ng mga financial transactions sa aming agencies like reimbursement, liquidation, cash advances, yun pong mga payroll. So nag-develop din po ang organization ng information system para naman po sa organizational learning ng ahensya. Ang tawag po namin dito ay Knowledge Management Information System or KMIS na ito po ay naglalaman ng iba't ibang technical materials or mga references na nakuha po ng aming mga staff sa pag-attend ng mga training, seminar at kung ano-ano pang mga events na kung saan may mga information materials na binibigay. So ang pinakang bago po or latest na information system na inadapt dito sa aming opisina, ginawa at inadapt, ayun pong tinatawag namin Quality Management Information System or QMIS. Ito naman po ay uma-assist sa amin sa implementasyon ng aming quality management system sa pag-comply po namin dun sa iba't ibang mga requirements ng ISO 9001. So nagagamit din namin ito during the internal quality audits. Nag-digitize din po ito ng aming quality manual. So nandoon na po yung manual namin at mga dokumento sa management review. Gusto ko rin pong ibahagi na hindi lang po yung aming organization ang nakikinabang sa mga sistemang ito. In fact, sa kasalukuyan po ay may 70 na po, 70 na po kaming mga adapters ng aming mga office information system. At ito po ay ginagamit nila sa kanilang mga organization to improve din po yung kanilang internal processes. So kabilang po dito yung 16 DOST regional offices, DOST PSHIRD, DOST TAPI, DOST PPRI, at ang pinakabago pong nag-adapt nito ay ang DOST FPRDIs at yung iba pa pong DOST agencies. So sa trace naman po, for example, ito po ay ginagamit din ng opisina ng 4 na undersecretaries ng ating pong ahensya. Ito po ay inadapt na rin ng iba't ibang government agencies kagaya po ng SSB o yung Career Executive Service Board, DOLE o yung Department of Labor and Employment, Philippine Coconut Authority, PCA, Department of Education, Development Academy of the Philippines, National Police Commission Region 8, Philippine National Police NCRPO at sa iba pong units pa rin ng PNP. So kami po ay very proud naman at natutuwa po kami na yun pong mga feedback na nakukuha namin doon sa aming mga naging adapters ng mga sistemang ito ay napakaganda. So lahat po sila ay nagsasabi na napakalaking tulong para ma-improve yung kanilang office efficiency through the use of these systems po.
Maraming salamat po, Director Emelita Bagsi ng DOST Region 4A, Calabarzon. Mula Region 4A, Dumako naman po tayo sa Region 4B. Makakasama po natin si Dr. Josefina Abilal, ang Director ng DOST Region 4B. Mimaropa, magandang araw po, Director Abilal.
Magandang araw, Onin at Kisek Boy. Magandang araw din po.
Director Nanette, ibahagi mo naman sa amin kung ano ang profile ng Region 4B o ng Mimaropa at anong pinagkaiba niyan sa ibang rehiyon dito sa atin sa Pilipinas.
Thank you po, Sek Boy. Ang Mimaropa region ay binubuo po ng 5 island provinces. Ang mga ito ay Oriental Mindoro, Occidental Mindoro, Marinduque, Romblon at Palawan. In short, Mimaropa. Ang Mimaropa region po ay may total na land area na mahigit 30,000 square kilometers at may kabuuang populasyon na mahigit 3.2 million as of May 2020 na 2.96% ng kabuuang populasyon ng Pilipinas. So maunti lang po kami. May dalawa po kami syudad, ang Calapan City sa Oriental Mindoro at Puerto Princesa City sa Palawan. Kilala ang region sa mga pangunahin nitong produkto gaya ng palay, saging, kalamansi, kasoy at seafoods kasama na ang seaweeds. Siyempre, tanyag din sa aming rehiyon dahil sa mga tourist destinations dito gaya ng Puerto Princesa Underground River at El Nido sa Palawan, Puerto Galera, White Beach sa Oriental Mindoro, ang Tamaraw at ang Apo Reef na isang diving site sa Occidental Mindoro, ang marble products ng Romblon at ang Moriones Festival sa Marinduque. Kung nais nyong mas makilala o mag-enjoy sa aming region na hindi kailangang bumiyahe, maaari po kayong bumisita sa aming e-commerce platform, ang mimaropaventures.ph upang makabili online ng mga dekalidad na produkto ng aming assisted MSMEs. Dahil ang Mimaropa region ay binubuo ng island provinces at malaking limitasyon ang mobility or transportation, we are known to produce what we need. Sa kadahilanang mahirap makarating ang mga goods sa bawat sulok ng rehiyon, especially kapag masama ang panahon o may bagyo, ay sinusubukan po namin maging self-sustaining. Binubuo kami ng maraming geographically isolated and disadvantaged areas o GIDA at marami rin kaming indigenous people communities. Isa ang Mimaropa region sa may pinakamababang gross regional domestic product or GRDP. 4.3% noong 2019 at negative 7.6% last year. Kaya naman, hindi nakagugulat na ilan sa pangunahing pangangailangan ng rehiyon ay nananatiling mga basic necessities gaya ng malinis na tubig at kuryente. Kaya naman, may interventions kami para dito. Nariyan ang solar energy system technology at iba't ibang water-related technologies kung saan nakapagbibigay tayo ng affordable source ng kuryente at tubig sa mga mahihirap na komunidad. Maliban dyan, iba't ibang technological interventions ang binibigay para ang mga maliliit na negosyo sa region gaya ng automation and computerization ng isang car service shop sa Romblon. Ito po ay napakahalaga sa probinsya dahil kung wala nito, kailangan pang dumayo sa ibang probinsya, sa ibang rehiyon o sa mainland Luzon para makapagpagawa ng mga nasirang sasakyan.
Director Abilal, ano po ang mga halimbawa ng achievement ng DOST Region 4B na inyong maipagmamalaki? At ano po ang karangalan na nakamit ng inyong regional office bunga po ng inyong walang sawang serbisyo para sa bayan?
Salamat, Onin. Ang DOST Mimaropa ay nagkamit ng Philippine Quality Award or PQA sa Proficiency in Quality Management sa unang application pa lang. Tumalon kami sa level 2 agad. Ang PQA po ay itinuturing na pinakamataas na antas ng pagkilala sa ating bansa para sa mga opisina na nasa private or public sector para sa mahusay o excellent nitong organizational performance. Dahil na rin sa culture of excellence na aming sinusunod sa opisina, may mga karangalan at pagkilala po kaming natanggap. kami po ay ginawaran ng DCYF Innovation Award for Government Service category for Advancing Water Security in Mimaropa Region. Nariyan po ang solar-powered water purification system sa Dumaran, Palawan, solar-powered water refilling station sa Pinamalayan, Oriental Mindoro, solar-powered water pumping system in Maniwaya Island sa Marinduque at Concepcion Island, Romblon, at water desalination technology sa Mongpong Island sa Marinduque. Gayon din mayroong rainwater collector or harvester with filtration system sa Occidental Mindoro. Sa tulong ng mga teknolohiyang ito, ang mga naninirahan sa maliliit na isla ay hindi na kailangan maglakad ng malayo o mag-angkat sa kabilang isla o sa main island ng probinsya para magkaroon ng tubig na inumin at magagamit sa pang-araw-araw. Kami rin po ay nagkamit ng parangal na William D. Dar Research Leadership para sa aming advokasya na isulong ang research, development, and innovation sa region at makikipag-partner sa iba't ibang local at international organizations at pagsulong ng mga polisiya patungkol sa science, technology, and innovation. Sa nagdaang mahigit 5 taon, kami po ay 4 na ulit na nabigyan ng pagkilala ng Regional Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council, ang Gawad Kalasag, dahil sa initiatives on promotion and implementation ng DRRM and climate change adaptation na isinigawa sa region. Sa mga kadahilanang ito, ang inyo pong lingkod ay nagkamit ng parangal bilang distinguished alumna ng UPLP para sa public sector governance at mga programang nagsusulong ng pag-unlad ng MSMEs gamit ang STI. Para sa akin po, isa po itong pagkilala hindi lamang sa akin, kundi sa buong opisina.
Director Nanette, kung sa DOST IV-A, ay marami silang pinagmamalaki na develop na information systems to improve internal processes. Ano naman ang pwede mong mabanggit na nagawa ninyo dyan sa DOST Mimaropa na may kinalaman sa ICT?
Thank you po, Sec Boy. Isang magandang pagkakataon po ito upang ibahagi ko sa inyo ang isa sa pinakabagong initiative ng DOST Mimaropa, ang tinatawag na Digitalization of Business Processes of Selected MSMEs, where a total of 18 MSMEs in the entire region are being served for now. Nilalayon ng programang ito na matulungan ang mga MSME sa Mimaropa na makasabay sa digital transformation upang mas mapataas ang kanilang productivity at matugunan ang mga pangangailangan ng customers. 2 major components po ang nasa ilalim ng programang ito. Una ay para sa isaayos ang sistema ng inventaryo ng mga produkto, raw materials at benta ng mga nasa food sector gaya ng bakery at bake shops at construction and trading industry gamit ang mga dinisenyo naming web-based computer applications. Sa ganitong makabagong sistema, nakapagbibigay ng near real-time na ulat na magagamit sa pagdedesisyon at sa pagpapatakbo ng ating mga maliliit na negosyo. Ang isa pa po dyan, ang pag-develop naman ng sistema ng pamamahala ng kalidad ng tubig sa mga aquaculture farms upang siguruhing maisaayos ang pagpapalaki ng mga alagang isda at hipon. Meron po kaming 4 na project sa ilalim ng web-based inventory management system para sa MSMEs. Ito po ay inassign sa bawat state university and college sa Mimaropa na may kakayahang bumuo o mag-develop ng information system na makatutugon sa pagsasaayos ng operasyon ng interesadong MSME. Itong mga nasabing systems ay may pagkakaparehong features patungkol sa pag-monitor ng raw materials, produkto at benta, pero meron din silang unique at dagdag na mga katangian na kayang direktang tumugon ayon sa pangailangan ng MSMEs. Sa e-process o inventory processing system for food enterprise sector na dinevelop ng Occidental Mindoro State College, mayroon itong additional features na point of sales or POS at customer recording tracking system. Ang Marinduque State College naman ay may binubuong SIMS o Sales and Inventory Management System. Ito ay may unique feature tulad ng MSME Purchase Record Management System na designed lang para sa bakery at bake shops. Ang MIMS o MSME Inventory Monitoring System na binubuo ng Romblon State University ay mayroon namang kakayahang magbigay ng alert notification kung mababa na ang raw materials and product stocks. Meron itong barcode scanning at stock keeping units generator features at sales activity monitoring interface. Ang WIM LMS o Web-Based Inventory Monitoring and Logistics Management System ng Palawan State University na maliban sa inventory ay may bukod tanging merong logistics management or ordering system components para sa real-time monitoring of transactions mula sa main branch patungo sa mga outlets. Ang nasabing pangalawa po ay ang EH2O. H2O as in tubig o Internet of Things or IoT-based aquaculture farm water quality management system. Sa EH2O, gagamit ng integrated web server embedded technology na may mobile telecommunication technology. Ito ay dinisenyo upang gumamit ng remote sensing at microcontroller technology para ma-monitor ang kalidad ng tubig sa palaisdaan. Sa lumang proseso, manual ang pagbabasa ng data na dahilan ng mataas na variability sa kinokolektang data o parameters gaya ng temperature at salinity. Sa technology na ito, gamit ang computer application at mga sensors, limitado o hindi na kailangan ng human intervention. Meron tayong thermometer at iba pang sensors para sa iba pang parameters na nakakonect sa computer para diretsyong ma-record ang data, masuri at mapag-aralan. Sa paraang ito, ang pag-digitize ng convenient para sa MSMEs dahil sa pwedeng gamitin ang cellphone, dadating ang tamang impormasyon na makatutulong para makagawa ng tamang desisyon gaya ng kung kailangang i-correct ang kondisyon ng tubig. Ang benepisyo nito ay tataas ang survival rate at syempre tataas ang production output. Itong EH2O ay ginagawa para sa 4 na aquaculture farms sa Oriental Mindoro Province at katulong po ang Mindoro State University sa pagbuo ng information system. Sa pamamagitan ng digitalization na ito, inaasahang magiging future-proof ang maliliit na negosyo gamit ang napapanahong technology.
Maraming salamat po, DOST Region 4-B ni Maropa Director, Dr. Josefina Abilay. Nadako naman po tayo sa Region 9. Makakasama po natin si Regional Director Martin Wee ng DOST Region 9. Magandang araw po, Director Wee.
Buenos dias también, Sir Onin, at kay Secretary Boy. Magandang araw din kina RD Bagsit, RD Abilay, RD Sales at sa lahat ng mga sumusubaybay sa atin sa araw na ito.
Buenos dias también, Director Martin. Ibahagi mo naman sa amin ang profile ng Region 9. Paano ito naiba sa ibang mga rehiyon sa ating bansa?
Sa bahaging ito ng Mindanao, saklaw ng DOST 9 ang Zamboanga Peninsula. Ito ay kinabibilangan ng 3 probinsya ng Zamboanga del Norte, Zamboanga del Sur at Zamboanga Sibugay at ang cities ng Zamboanga at Isabela ng Basilan Province. Masasabing agri-fishery corridor ng Pilipinas ang Zamboanga Peninsula na pinalilibutan ng malalaking fishing grounds. Ang rehiyon ay ang gateway sa Brunei Darussalam, Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, East ASEAN Growth Area or ang BIMP-IAGA region. At ang Zamboanga City ay ang nagsisilbing lagusan patungo sa IAGA member countries, kaya isa ito sa major trading centers ng nasabing cooperation initiative. Ang Zamboanga Peninsula rin ang #1 commercial marine fish producing region ng bansa. Tinatayang nasa 16.48% ang kabuuhang produksyon ng bansa ay galing sa Zamboanga at 37% ng kabuuhang produksyon ng Mindanao. Sa pangkalahatan, mahigit 35,000 na katao ang nabibigyan ng hanapbuhay ng industriyang ito, maliban sa mga allied industries on shipping, stevedoring, cold storage, at iba pa. It has also extensive areas developed as aqua farms for brackish water and freshwater fisheries. Sa Zamboanga Peninsula rin makikita ang mga malalaking dried fish processors na kinabibilangan ng more than 100 na planta at 70% ng buong supply ng tuyo sa bansa ay galing sa Region 9. 75% naman ng kabuuhang supply ng canned sardines ang makikita sa Region 9, particular sa Zamboanga City, kung saan 11 of the 14 major canning factories ay matatagpuan dito. Kung kaya't tinatawag rin itong Sardines Capital of the Philippines. At ang Dipolog City naman ay tinaguri ang Bottled Sardines Capital of the Philippines. Malayo ang Zamboanga Peninsula sa Typhoon Belt at madalang na nakaranas ng bagyo. Subalit, nakakaranas pa rin ang Zamboanga Peninsula ng malalakas na pagbuhos ng ulan na sanhi ng pagbaha sa malaking bahagi ng rehiyon. At malaki ang epekto nito sa industriya ng pagsasaka at pangingisda at sa mga low-lying communities.
Director B, ano po ba ang mga halimbawa ng achievement ng DOST Region 9 na inyong pagmamalaki? At ano po ang mga karangalan na nakamit ng DOST Region 9 bunga ng inyong walang sawang serbisyo para sa bayan?
Sir Onin, ang isi-share ko ngayon ay ang mga mahalagang nagawa ng DOST 9 sa larangan ng ICT. Ang DOST 9 ay isa sa mga masugid na nagtataguyod ng Information Communication Technology initiatives sa Zamboanga Peninsula Region. Alam naman natin na maraming makukuhang benepisyo sa tamang paggamit ng ICT. Dahil dito, pinapaigting ng DOST 9 ang pagpapaunlad at pagpapanatili ng mga information systems at databases upang maayos ang pag-implement at mapabilis ang mga proseso ng gobyerno at negosyo dito sa rehiyon. Ilan sa mga ito ay ang mga sumusunod. Ang DOST One Lab or One-Stop Laboratory Services for Global Competitiveness. Isa itong network ng mga laboratorio kabilang ang mga DOST laboratories at ng iba pang mga local at international laboratories. Nang layunin ay makapag-offer ng malawak na access sa pagsusuri at pag-calibrate sa pamamagitan ng IT platform. Sa na-develop na One Lab Referral System, ngayon lahat ng sample receiving stations ng DOST laboratories ay maaari nang tumanggap ng request for testing and calibration kahit wala pang kakayahan ang kanilang laboratory sa hinihinging serbisyo na pwedeng i-refer na lamang sa network laboratories. May 57 na miyembro na ang One Lab na kinabibilangan ng 23 DOST laboratories, 26 na iba pang laboratories sa Pilipinas at 8 international partner laboratories. May mga internal processes solutions systems din na gawa ang DOST 9. At ang pinakabago ay ang FAMES or ang Finance and Administrative Information Management System. Ito ay isang online system na nagproproseso ng mga internal financial transactions at ibang internal processes ng DOST 9 na pwedeng gawin anytime, anywhere. Nag-grant din ng DOST Science Education Institute ang pag-enhance ng DOST 9 sa nagawa nitong S&T Scholarship Information Management System upang ma-harmonize ang mga data collection, monitoring, and reporting requirements ng mga DOST scholars sa bansa at magamit ng bawat DOST regional offices at university-based scholarship centers ang sistema. Sir Onin, mabanggit ko lang na ang mga DOST regions na naririto ngayon, ang DOST Calabarzon, DOST Mimaropa, DOST 9, at DOST 11, kasama na rin ang DOST 2 ay naging recipient na ng Level 2 Philippine Quality Award. Ang Level 2 ay recognition ng proficiency in quality management. Maaaring isa sa mga dahilan kung paano nakamit namin ito kasi as early as 2008, nagsimula na kaming nagpa-certify at na-sustain namin ang quality management system through ISO 9001 standards. Ang nabanggit ko palang One Love Referral System ay nanalo na ng Innovation Award sa Benita and Catalino Yap Foundation or BCYF under the government category. Na-award na din ito ng Development Academy of the Philippines or DAP sa Government Best Practice Recognition noong 2017. Isa rin ito sa top 10 best practices sa 6th International Best Practice Competition noong 2018 na ginawa sa Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates.
Director Martin, ano naman ang mga ICT initiative ninyo sa Region 9 na nakatulong hindi lamang sa inyong region, office, kundi sa iba pa?
Secretary Boy, higit sa mga nabanggit kong ICT initiatives ng DOST 9, ang pinagtuunan namin ng mahalagang atensyon ay ang DOST ICT-based initiatives para sa disaster risk reduction and management. Isa sa mga ito ay ang automated water level and rain monitoring using near real-time observation or ang alerto system. Pinondohan ng DOST 9 bilang Vice Chair ng Disaster Prevention and Mitigation Thematic Area ng DRRM ang Alerto System Project. This was proposed by the Ateneo de Zamboanga University or ADSU GeoSafer Team na ngayon ay ang ADSU Alerto Team. Nakita po ito ng Alerto Team na maaring solusyon na makakatulong sa communities sa Zamboanga Peninsula na madalas binabaha dulot ng ulan kung may low pressure area at localized thunderstorm. Mula noong 2017 hanggang 2018, libo-libong pananim, marine fishery, aquaculture facilities at iba pang ari-arian ang nawasak at ilang buhay din ang nawala. Sa Alerto Early Warning System, binibigyan ng kahalagaan ang paglagay ng mga automated rain gauges or ARG sensors sa mga kabundukan o upstream area ng mga ilog upang matukoy kung ang lakas ba ng ulan na ito ay maaring magdulot ng pagtaas ng tubig sa ilog. Na maaari namang mamonitor ng gamit ang automated water level sensors or ang AWS. By the way, ang mga sensor na ito ay parehong ginawa ng DOST Advanced Science and Technology Institute. Sa pamamagitan ng teknolohiyang ito, magkakaroon ng lead time o maagang babala ang mga LGU mula sa automated text messages or sa Alerto website at mabigyan din ng konting panahon ang mga komunidad para maghanda at sa maaring pagbaha. Sa malaking suporta ng OCD 9 at DILG 9 through the regional DRMC, na-approve ang paggamit at pagpilot ng Alerto System and Protocol sa 14 na LGU sa Region 9. Isa sa Zamboanga del Sur ang Bayog, 6 sa Zamboanga Sibugay, ang Kabasalan, Diplahan, CI, Payaw, Imelda, and Kabasalan, sa Zamboanga del Norte, sa Salog, Zamboanga City, Lamitan City ng Basilan Province. Matapos ang matagumpay na piloting ng Alerto sa Region 9 at dahil sa malaking benepisyo dulot ng Alerto Early Warning System, inaprubahan ng National and DRMC ang pagpapatupad ng Alerto sa buong bansa matapos ma-endorse ng OCD9 ang proyekto. Lalo pang pinalawig ang kakayahan ng Alerto nang mapondohan ito muli ng DOST9 noong Nobyembre 2020 para ma-innovate further ang monitoring and feedback mechanism ng Alerto Early Warning System at gumawa ng interactive Android application at ang pagtulong sa mga pilot LGUs na magawa ang customized localized action plans upang tulungan ng mga LGUs na matugunan ang bawat warning levels na maipadala ng Alerto System. Noong 2021, pinondohan ng DILG Local Government Agency ang integration ng Alerto sa DILG Operation Listo Protocol on Disaster Preparedness for Localized Weather Disturbance. Ito ay inilalabas na ngayon at gagamitin sa 8 pilot probinsya ng bansa. Sa Luzon, ang Cagayan, Isabela, Pampanga, Oriental Mindoro, sa Visayas, Southern Leyte, Negros Oriental, sa Mindanao naman ang Agusan del Norte at Surigao del Sur. Pagkatapos ng successful piloting sa 8 probinsya noong October 2021, ang Alerto Protocol ay nakasama na sa DILG Manual on Disaster Preparedness for localized weather disturbance. At muling, naipresenta ito sa National DRRMC Full Council meeting at aprobado na sa paggamit.
Maraming salamat po, Director Martin Lee mula sa DOST Region 9. Ngayon naman po, dumako tayo sa Region 11. Ano kaya ibabahagi sa atin ni Dr. Anthony Sales, ang Director ng DOST Region 9 o Region 11. Magandang araw po, Director Sales.
Magandang araw naman sa iyo, Onin, at syempre kay Secretary Boy. At nais ko rin batiin ang iba pang regional directors na kasama natin ngayon, sina RD Bagsit, RD Abilay at RD Wee. At sa lahat ng mga sumusubaybay sa atin ngayon, magandang araw po sa lahat.
Salamat, Director Tony. Ibahagi mo naman sa amin ang profile na iyong region. Alam kong napakalaki ang Region 11. At ano kaibahan nito sa ibang rehiyon sa ating bansa?
Thank you, Secretary. Alam natin na ang Davao Region is known for two things. Isa ay ang food and agriculture. Pangalawa, yung renewable energy resources natin. Agriculture remains to be the largest economic sector, comprising of yung mga plantations natin sa banana, pineapple, coffee, and coconut. And ito rin ang leading exporter ng fruits such as mangoes, pomelos, bananas, coconut, pineapple, papaya, mangosteen, and cacao. And recently, Secretary, ang Davao was declared as the chocolate capital or cacao capital of the Philippines. This is the latest agri-based development in the region. And in fact, isa sa ating mga setup partners or beneficiary, yung Malagos Agri-Venture Corporation, developed yung Malagos Chocolate, which is now the country's leading artisan chocolate, recognized worldwide. At isa pang enterprise that is known worldwide is yung Seed Core Enterprises, which is the country's biggest exporter of cacao to Barry Callebaut. And we know that durian is also locally grown and harvested in the city, and is now a notable export item from Davao region. Local corporations, kasama dito yung Lorenzo Group, Anflo Group, Sarangani Agriculture Corporation, also have operations and maintain headquarters in Davao region. Secretary, marami din tayong mga multinational companies to include Dole, Sumifru or Sumitomo, and Del Monte that have the regional headquarters here in Davao region. Davao region is the main trade, commerce, and industry hub of Mindanao and is also one of the financial hubs of Mindanao. So makikita natin, Secretary, na karamihan ng ating programs and projects dito sa Davao are aligned with these two industry sectors, yung food and agriculture, and then yung renewable energy resources. And we know also that Davao region is a premier tourist destination in Mindanao, as well as a domestic and international gateway to other visitor destinations in the island. So we make sure, Secretary, that all our programs and projects are aligned with these two major industry sectors in the country.
Director Sales, ano po mga halimbawa ng achievement ng DOST Region 11 na inyong pagbamalaki? At ano po mga karangalan na nakamit ng DOST Region 11 bunga po ng inyong walang sawang serbisyo para sa bayan?
Modesty aside, Onin, medyo marami na yung awards na natanggap ng DOST Davao. I think perhaps it's one of the most awarded regional offices of the DOST. I'd like to mention yung ISO 9001 and ISO 17025 accreditations natin. And then, gaya ng nabanggit ni RD Martin and RD Abilay, we also obtained our Philippine Quality Award Level 1 and Level 2 recognitions. In fact, in November, we will be receiving in Malacanang our PQA Level 2 recognition from the President. And then third, we received the Pag-asa Award of the Civil Service Commission for our project on the iron fortification of rice in Davao de Oro. This is one of the, I think, most successful projects that we implemented in the region using yung technology that was developed by the Food and Nutrition Research Institute. Pang-apat is gaya din ng achievement ng ni Maropa, we were also a recipient, a finalist in actually 2 times already in the Benito Catalina Yap Foundation Innovation Award. No? One for the project, again on the iRice, yung iron fortified rice project in Davao de Oro, and then the second one was recently for the Food Processing Innovation Center project, which we implemented in collaboration with the Philippine Women's College. And I would also like to mention, and we're very proud of this achievement, that in 2015 and 2016, we were adjudged as the most outstanding regional office of the DOST for 2 consecutive years. No? And the Development Academy of the Philippines also recognized the Food Processing Innovation Center as one of the 10 outstanding government practices. And we're also very proud of the recognition given by UNESCO for our project on the development and deployment of the SETI scorecard for the SDGs. SETI stands for Science, Engineering, Technology, and Innovation. We developed a scorecard that will be used for assessing different programs and projects for their contributions to the attainment of the SDGs. Itong scorecard ay ginagamit na ngayon ng mga R&D institutions across Asia Pacific, particularly yung UNESCO Level 2 research agencies. And here in Davao region, this is already extensively used as a tool to assess programs and projects for budgeting purposes. Thank you, Secretary.
Alam mo, Onin, maganda rin itong mga ICT project na ginawa ng ating DOST Region 11. At yan naman siguro ang huling ibabahagi sa atin ni Director Tony.
Maraming pagsubok talaga ang dumating at dinanas ng ating mga communities nang dumating ang COVID-19 pandemic. And isa sa mga higit na naapektuhan ng ay ang ating mga kapatid, no, na farmers sa IP communities in Davao region. Unang-una, naging mahirap ang logistics at transportation sa pagdadala ng mga ani nila mula sa bundok or bukid pababa sa merkado, nang dahil na rin sa mga community lockdowns and striktong quarantine ng local government units. Pangalawa, mas lalong bumaba ang presyong bilihin mula sa bukid o yung tinatawag na farm gate prices, Secretary. No? Di maiwasan na mayroong mga nagsasamantala, mga unscrupulous na middlemen na masyadong binababaan ang presyong bilihin na siyang lalong nagpahirap sa ating mga IP farmers. Pangatlo, dahil na rin sa pabago-bagong klima at takot na baka di maibenta ang mga pananim at ani, napipilitan ang iba nating kababayang magsasaka na anihin ang higit na or anihin ng mas maaga ang mga farm produce, no, kahit hindi pa sila mature, no. Kung ating titingnan, may mga solusyon sa pamamagitan ng science at technology. At ito ay naging impetus, naging idea kung bakit tayo ay nag-implement nung AGAC na project. AGAC is actually Bisaya. AGAC or Amoma o Giya alang sa Kahamugaway. So in English, Secretary, this is Care and Guide for Stability. This is a collaborative project of the DOST with the Department of Agriculture, the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, and even the Philippine Army is involved here, no? Kasi sila ang nagpo-provide ng security sa atin at saka sa komunidad, no, sa IP communities natin. And very important dito, sir, is yung private sector partner natin. And in this project, we have the Iho Resources Corporation that served as the market for the agricultural products ng ating IP communities. Pangunahing layunin ng proyektong AGAC ay maibsan ang hirap ng ating mga IP farming communities dahil sa COVID and makamit ang community resilience gamit ang ICT approaches at pag-introduce ng package of technology. And I would also like to mention that this was supported by DOST Report. They provided a grant of 70,000 pesos para sa proyekto, Secretary.
Muli po, maraming salamat Dr. Anthony Salas, Director ng DOST Region 11. Sekboy, baka may mga nais pakipabatid sa ating mga panauhin at mga taga-subaybay.
Oo, napakaganda ng mga ipinesent sa atin, ng mga halimbawa ng mga projects ng ating mga director coming from 4 regions. At ako nagpapasalamat sa kanilang lahat, kay Director Sales, kay Director Lee, kay Director Abilay, kay Director Bagsit, sa kanilang pag-share ng mga ito. Of course, marami pa silang magagandang ginawang iba, although medyo talagang special mention tayo ngayon for ICT projects considering our shift to the new normal, no? At nakita natin dito na hindi lamang sa governance at sa frontline services importante itong applications ng ICT and actually kahit na yung artificial intelligence, kung hindi, ito ay napakahalaga para maka-adapt ang ating mga businesses into the new normal. At syempre pa, nandyan din yung ating pagbibigay kahalagahan sa sektor din ng agrikultura na maaari makinabang through smart agriculture, paggamit ng ICT. At doon naman sa ating mga nag-aaral ay iba't ibang mode ng learning na ngayon ay napakalaki ng gamit ng ICT. Kaya maganda ang natalakay natin ngayon, bukod doon sa kanilang mga iba pang proyekto at mga achievements, ay nabigyan natin ng pansin yung mga applications na may kinalaman sa ICT. No? Meron pang ICT for health, meron pang iba-iba na applications ng ICT. So maraming salamat muli, Director Tony, Director Martin, Director Nanette, and Director Emmy sa inyong pagpapaunlak sa aming imbitasyon na ma-interview kayo ngayon dito sa DOST Report.
Sa aming pong pagbabalik, makakasama po namin si Secretary Boy at ang ating mga panauhin sa pagsagot sa mga tanong ng bayan. Magpukimbinitiw, magbabalik pa ang DOST Report.
Kadalasan nating nababasa ang kultura, tradisyon at kasaysayan sa mga libro.
Dumating kasi yung panahon na pamahalaan natin, nag-declare sila ng total land ban. So, yung kahoy, yung supply, hindi na ganun kadami dumadating.
Ngayon, masisilip natin ito sa kakaibang scene. Samahan ninyo kaming pasikatin ang mga kaalaman na magagamit ng ating pamilya at komunidad sa paghahanap ng kahoy na maaaring gamitin sa pag-uukit o pagpapalago pa ng kanilang kabuhayan. Ito ang Siyensika, Pinoy Popular Science para sa lahat.
Oras na para sagutin ni Secretary Boy at ng ating mga panauhin ang tanong ng bayan. Para sa unang katanungan, mula po kay Larissa Piscos, Happy YouTube channel kay Secretary Fortunato de la Peña. Ano po ang wish list ninyo para sa mga DOST regional offices bago matapos po ang inyong termino?
Well, siyempre, gusto nating makatulong ang ating regional offices na makarecover ang ating mga micro, small, and medium enterprises mula sa epekto ng ating pandemic, at marami talaga sa kanila ang nahirapan. Kaya kung ano man ang maitutulong ng ating mga regional offices ay isagawa natin. Pangalawa, ay gusto ko makakita ng marami-raming startups na manggagaling sa ating mga rehiyon. Kabilang na dyan yung mga startups na tinutulungan nating maitayo through the I-Forward PH project, yung para sa mga Filipinos working distantly from the Philippines sa ating mga returning OFWs. And of course, andyan pa din yung pagpapatuloy natin sa pagbibigay ng ginhawa sa ating mga kababayan sa mga marginalized, isolated areas, okay, na kung hanggat maaari tulungan natin through science and technology, yung mga very basic needs, potable water, yung mga kailangan nila for better nutrition, access to education, at ating pag-iingat tungkol sa mga disasters. Siguro ay gusto ko din makita na lumaki ang role ng ating mga regional offices tungkol sa pag-coordinate ng research and development sa kanilang mga rehiyon. Yan lang, konti lang naman ang aking wish list. At yan naman ay natitiyak ko pinagsisikapan din ng ating mga regional offices.
Ito'y malaki ginamape ng National Press Club, DWWW. Dr. Anthony Sales, bukod sa Project AGA, ano po ang mga programa ninyo para sa mga IPs na marami sa inyong rehiyon?
Gusto kong banggitin, Onin, yung GRIND program, yung Grassroots Innovation for Inclusive Development Program na pinilot natin dito sa Davao Region, but we hope to have this deployed sana nationwide. But here in Davao Region, we focused on IP communities dahil alam natin na ang IP communities ay nabibilang doon sa mga marginalized and disadvantaged communities ng ating bansa. So dito sa Davao Region, we identified different IP communities. Davao Region actually has more than 13 IP communities or ICCs, Indigenous Cultural Communities. And under the project, under the GRIND program, we decided to focus on innovations related to heritage foods, artisanal crafts, and ethnobotanicals. Kasi itong tatlo, ang ating indigenous people, ang talagang stewards ng mga pinanggagalingan nitong mga produkto na ito. So we know that they are the stewards of the ancestral domains, kung saan makukuha yung mga raw materials na gagamitin for ethnobotanicals, for the crafts, including the woven materials, na has a very good potential not only here in the Philippines but also abroad, particularly in EU. They go gaga over itong mga ethnic products from the Philippines. So we decided na dito sa GRIND program, tutulungan natin yung mga grassroots innovators, bring them to market, improve the quality of these products, and provide all the necessary S&T interventions para mailagay natin sa not only in the local market but also in the global market for these products.
Mula po kay Divina Pastora Reyes ng Unlad Bayan o Unlad, Newsweekly Laguna, kay Dr. Maria Josefina P. Abilay sa paggamit po ng digitalization ng mga prosesong pangnegosyo sa Mimaropa, ano po ang mga suliraning inyong kinaharap? O sa palagay ninyo ay iba yung pagkakaharapi?
Parang, kasi bago namin ito isinagawa, ay kinausap namin ang MSMEs. Nag-imbita kami at yung interested lamang ang aming kinonsider. Actually, may dalawa ng ready na dinedeploy. Excited sila lahat. Pati yung mga SUCs, excited sila at isa daw karangalan na mapasali sa project na ito kasi inilapit namin sa kanila ang opportunity na makaserve o ma-share sa community ang kanilang mga nalalaman at yung mga lalo na yung sa aquaculture isang maganda pagkakataon na matagal nilang gusto magkaroon ng gano'n na H2O na para scientifically ma-monitor ang water at ma-enhance ang productivity, sila po talaga ay nag-aantay na. Siguro doon sa internet, yun pala. Kasi yung iba doon ay kailangan ng internet. Yung iba naman ay hindi. Yung sa Palawan, kailangan ng internet. Pero ngayon kasi ay marami nang nagpo-put up ng mga internet service provider. Meron na nga satellite doon. Yung isang SUC, yung internet niya nanggagaling na sa satellite. So alam na talaga, marami ng providers na gumagala sa region namin para maglagay ng internet connectivity. Tingin ko yun lang ang pwede maging problema kasi yung mga MSMEs ay excited sila at yung counterpart nila na in kind, tulad ng dapat meron sila ng mga gadgets, ay willing silang i-provide. Parang wala akong nakikitang iba pang sakit ng ulo, yun laang, yung internet, na yun naman ay pinoprovide na ng mga service providers. But anyway, salamat po sa tanong.
Maraming salamat din po sa mga kaibigan natin sa media na nagpadala ng kanilang mga katanungan tulad po ni Anthony Saceda, The Philippine Post News Today Online, Shane Pe, The Philippine Event News Online, Rafi Rico, Noonbreak Balita. Secretary Boy, bago po tayo magtapos, imbitahan po natin ang ating mga taga-subaybay na abangan ng Shensikat bukas.
Inaanyayahan ko ang lahat ng ating taga-subaybay na muli panoorin ang isa na namang episode sa ating second series ng Shensikat. Ito ay mapapanood tuwing ikawalo ng umaga at ikaapat ng hapon kung araw ng Sabado. Ganun din ang oras kung araw ng Linggo. Ang ating episode this weekend ay yung paggamit ng mga senile na rubber wood. Ito ay inumpisahan namin sa Zamboanga, Sibugay. Salamat po.
Narito pang ilan sa mga programa at DOST events na dapat yung pakanutukan. Mga kapatid, maraming salamat po sa inyong pagtutok. Mas marami pang balita mula sa mundo ng siyensya at teknolohiya ang ating pag-uusapan. Kaya tutok naman po tuwing Biyernes, alas 4 ng hapon dito sa DOST TV Facebook page. Ako po si Oning Miranda. Ito ang mga balitang may kinalaman sa siyensya at teknolohiya para sa bawat Pilipino straight from the S&T Authority ng bansa. Ito ang DOST Report.